we are going to complete the first chapter of Science, Class 10, Chemical Reactions and Equations within 10 minutes. Now, before I begin this session of this chapter, I just want to clear that what I am going to provide the class 10 buddies who are seeing this video. I'm going to give you on tips notes plus previous year questions plus the important questions of some good refreshers, which means that I'm going to share you some clips or PDFs of some good refreshers of class 10. Also, I'm going to explain this chapter to you within a short span of 10 minutes. So please concentrate in this chapter. It is a very small chapter and very easy to understand if you have done class 9 in a very good manner. So firstly, before I go to the on tips notes, let us discuss what is a chemical reaction. A chemical reaction is a process in which the original substance lose their nature and identity and form new substance with different properties. Okay, this is very easy. We know it from class 8 or 9, so I think there is nothing much to deal with chemical reactions or the definition of chemical reaction. One more thing that I want to tell you all, that is, this is my first video, so please help me grow so that I can provide you more informations about class 10 and many more guidebooks. So what are reactants? The substances which take part in chemical reaction are called reactants. Clear? The substances which are formed in a chemical reaction are called products. Reactants, products. Reactants in left side, products in right side of a chemical reaction. A balanced chemical equation. So it is a balanced chemical equation. The equation in which atoms of various elements on the reactants and product side are equal. It's known as a balanced equation. As simple as that. Now, how can we identify a chemical reaction? We can identify it by looking at the 4 observations that determine the occurrence of a chemical change. Firstly, evolution of a gas, then change in temperature, change in state, and lastly change in color. Now let's come to the types of chemical reactions. Firstly, there are 5 types of chemical reactions. One is combination reaction. The reaction in which 2 or more reactants combine to form a single product, like 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Okay, so 2 or more products are combining or adding together and forming a product. Okay, so there is a chemical combination reaction. Now the next is decomposition reaction. The reaction in which a compound splits into 2 or more simpler substances is called a decomposition reaction. Okay, there is splitting. One substance or a compound is splitting into 2 or more. This is a decomposition reaction. Now combination reaction are called opposite of decomposition reactions. Why? In combination reaction, 2 or more substances combine to form a single compound, and in decomposition reaction, a compound breaks down into 2 or more substances, so they are opposite to each other. Now, let's come to the third variant of chemical reactions. That is displacement reaction. The chemical reaction in which more reactive element displaces less reactive element from its salt solution. Okay, like Cu, that is copper, plus Zn, SO4. Okay, gives the same thing, ZnSO4 plus Cu. Why? Because according to the reactivity series, zinc is more reactive than copper, so it cannot displace copper from its salt solution. But if it has been the opposite, like USO4 plus Zn, then ZnSO4 plus U would have been formed. Now let's come to the fourth variant of chemical reactions, double displacement reaction. a reaction in which new compounds are formed by mutual exchange of ions between two compounds. Okay. So there are mutual exchange of ions taking place between two compounds. This is the double displacement reaction. Okay, so more 5 minutes, want to know now redox reaction. Before we begin the discussion on redox reaction, let's concentrate on two terms, is oxidation and reduction. Before I begin to discuss these two terms, I apologize to all my viewers that I'm sorry I could not give you a better sound quality, as this is my first video and I don't have much resources. So please help me grow so that I can provide you a highly modified videos, okay, for your convenience. Now is oxidation. Oxidation is the process of gaining oxygen during a reaction. Gaining oxygen, oxidation. So what could have been reduction? It is a process of losing oxygen during a reaction. Okay. Now let's come to corrosion. The surface of reactive metals are attacked by air, water and other substances around it. We know it from class 8-9. And the substance corrodes, and this process is known as corrosion. Now rusting. What happens? Iron particles, they develop a brown coating on their surface. Now how can this be prevented? Iron articles should be painted. The machine parts should be oiled and greased. Galvanized iron pipes are used for water supply. Iron can be coated with chromium to prevent rusting. Now, before I move on, I also want to say that the explanation that I'm giving you in this video, these are not from any refresher, not from any book, NCERT or anything. I have read this chapter in my previous classes and I'm explaining it from the deepest core of my heart. So sometimes it can be that you are not getting it clear. So please let me know in the comment section so that I can help you with your questions. Now what is rancidity? Rancidity is the process of slow oxidation of oil and fat present in the food materials, resulting in the production of foul odor and taste in them. So we face rancidity in our daily life. Now how can we prevent rancidity? Packing of food materials in airtight containers, refrigeration of cooked food at low temperature. Okay, so this is the basic of this chapter. Now that we are going to discuss about some specific phenomena that are based on these concepts. First is respiration. Respiration is considered an exothermic reaction. Now what is the exothermic reaction? When heat is released along with the formation of a product in a particular chemical reaction, it is called an exothermic reaction. Now in respiration, it is considered as an exothermic reaction because heat is released along with the formation of products. Okay. Also, when copper vessels are exposed to air, it loses its shine. Why? Because corrosion takes place and a green coating is deposited on copper. Okay. Also, what is tarnishing of silver? Silver article reacts with sulfur compounds such as H2S present in air, and this phenomena is obviously corrosion, but a special name has been given for the corrosion of silver particularly, and it's known as tarnishing of silver. Lastly, what are antioxidants? It is a substance which prevents oxidation. So by this discussion, we have finished our chapter. Now let us move on to some on-tips notes, a very good refresher. I will not mention the name, and I'm going to show you those screenshots in this video. If you want to write those notes, then please take a screenshot from the video Okay, and write down in your copies if you want. I'm also going to share some on tips notes which are handwritten in the description box. Please check it out. And if you have liked this session, then do like and subscribe. These are the on tips notes, key points and concepts. Here you can see, okay, here they have given the parts or the types of decomposition reaction which is not mentioned in your NCERT, or you can go through them because it's good for your future. It can nourish your future. Okay, so please just go through. This is another screenshot. With this screenshot, we have finished our chapter with on tips notes, explanation, and the other resources are given in the description box. Please check them out and do like my video, share it and subscribe. Thank you.